It's at times like this when you realise you might be spending a little bit too much on comics. Okay, hello, it's me, GhostCritic, and I've been tagged again. This time from NAW00001, my namesake Mark. To this one that's been going round, as per usual, everyone getting involved, the pull list tag. 5 questions pertaining to your current pull list. The first question was, what is your current monthly pull list? I've seen a lot of people do this in publishing houses, so I'll do the same. We've got from Image Fatale, Morning Glories, Alex and Ada, Umbral, Black Science, Deadly Class, 5 Ghosts, East of West, finally Saga. Yes, I buy a lot of Image comics. Also indie publisher Dynamite. I currently get The Twilight Zone and Green Hornet. DC, let's do the big 2. We've got Batman. Just creeping in there because it's about to finish. Animal Man. Justice League Dark. Batwoman. Batman Detective Comics. Swamp Thing. And Green Lantern. From the Vertigo line, Jeff Lemire's Trillium. The Unwritten Apocalypse. Astro City. Hinterkind. Fables. The Sandman Overture. Them are Vertigo ones. Finally, Marvel. And this kind of came at a very poignant time because I've dropped a ton of Marvel. And I'm basically left with 2. And once these have gone, I really don't know what's going to happen because Daredevil, let's get on to that later, and a Wolverine and the X-Men. So I don't think I've missed anything out. So that's my pull list. The next question was, what is the strongest book on your pull list and why? Again, I've kind of seen people take one from each kind of publishing house, and I really should have prepared myself because, oh God, what do I pick from Image? I guess oh hell. How can you pick? Because Image really does some great titles at the moment. I'm going to completely cheat. Black Science, just a fantastic visual treat. Great story by Rick Remender. Just one issue in, Deadly Class has just got me hooked and I'm dying for the next one. Since 5 Ghosts began, I've been a huge supporter and I've wanted each and every one of you to pick up this. Keep it going. We got it from a mini-series into an ongoing. Let's keep it ongoing. And finally, I'm going to say Fatale. It's the first time I've kind of dived into kind of Ed Brubaker's crime noir stuff. I've heard that stuff like Criminal and whatever the other one was are really good, but the hook with this was the whole occult stuff, which we didn't see a great deal of to begin with. It keeps coming in and out, but fantastic series, which unfortunately is coming to an end, but hey ho. Dynamite, I really enjoyed the first issue of the Twilight Zone, so if you haven't picked that up yet and you're a fan of the Twilight Zone, believe me, it's very good. Very good. DC, oh shocking. I think this one is quite easy. Yeah, I'm gonna go for this. The best DC comics, strongest book, Swamp Thing. Particularly at the moment because it's Charles Soule writing it. It was one of those kind of transitions because we had Scott Snyder. He's DC's latest Wonder Boy, Golden Eye, whatever you want to call him. And you just worried that was it ever going to be as good. Far surpasses Scott Snyder in my opinion on something. As much as I loved the opening salvo from Scott Snyder, Charles Soule has made this really feel like a Swamp Thing book back in its kind of like Vertigo days. So that's my strongest DC book. Let's give Vertigo. This is a kind of two-way tie. I think you'll probably know what one of them is. Definitely Fables. I've practically got every issue now. I'm still missing a few of the very earlier issues, but I'm still hunting them out. But ever since I jumped on board this back in, like, I think it was about issue somewhere between 20 and 30, I jumped on this and I've never looked back. It's a fantastic series. And I would strongly recommend anyone who wants something a little bit more substantial in their reading, The Unwritten, great storytelling from Mike Carey, sorry, and this has just started its final, its second volume, but final one, where it's wrapping up everything that happened in the last volume, and then it's goodbye Unwritten, but still cracking title. Marvel, I'm going to go with Daredevil because it was great. Of the two that I've got, I mean, Wolverine, as fun as it was, doesn't hold a candle to Mark Waid and Chris Samney on art for Daredevil. Unfortunately, it's probably one that once this current volume is finished, I won't be picking up because it's too much money now. And I'm still haven't found this out for definite, but I'm sure it's coming out twice a month and that's just too much money. So this will probably turn into a trade pickup. Okay, next question. What is the weakest book on your pull list and why? Image. I feel bad saying this because I'm not going to drop it, but I think it is the weakest one on Image pull list, and that is Umbral. Purely because at the moment it just does feel like it's going through the kind of stereotypical fantasy tropes that I'm very much used to because I did read a lot of fantasy based books when I was a lot younger, and this just harkens back to that. And maybe why I kind of give it the benefit of the doubt more than I should. It's more of a kind of a nostalgia feel to it. I've only got 2 books on Dynamite. I'm not considering, I don't think either of them are weak. Twilight Zone and The Green Hornet are great issues, so there's nothing there. For DC, without a shadow of a doubt, the weakest book, it's Batwoman. And this is a case of you worry after such a great run by J.H. Williams III, who could even compare to him. anyone I would have thought would have struggled. This new guy, and Draco, he's not even treading water. He's sinking, he's drowning fast, and needs to up his game. Vertigo, of the ones I've shown, I guess the weakest one, purely because I don't think it's found its feet just yet, because it is only on its 4th issue, but that's Hinterkind. I still like it, but compared to the others I'm picking up, it's the weakest one. As for Marvel, I would probably, well, I can only say it's Wolverine, and I don't really mean it, because it was a really good book. What have I dropped lately of Marvel? Guardians of the Galaxy was just a mess at the end. Even Francesco Francavilla's art couldn't save it, because quite frankly it was terrible. Nova, it was one of the ones that was never really on my pull list, but I got every month when it was on the shelf, and if it wasn't there I didn't care, and so I just let that go. What are that? Ultimate X-Men, that just finished, so difficult question for Marvel, but that's your lot. What are you considering dropping and why? I think the only books lately that I'm considering dropping is Batwoman, and that's just because at the moment it's goddamn awful. I can't say fairer than that. There's nothing else there I would even consider dropping. No. Anything else that disappears is because it's ended its run anyway. So, what are you considering adding and why was the final question. It's Image again, and it's... If I work this out right, you'll see pictures of the covers of what I'm looking forward to next to me. The first one is, let me just bring it up on my PC so I can see. 8 House from Brandon Graham, a writer, artist that as soon as I read King City, I fell in love with. He did... what else has he done? Multiple Warheads. He did that rather sexy, pornographic issue not so long ago. I can't even remember what it's called. But he's that kind of artist. He's like a graffiti artist in a sense. There is a lot going on his page that may not necessarily kind of pertain to the story, but it's those little bits around that just create a fully fledged world. 8 House is going to be a kind of magical based storyline. There are 8 houses, all with the use of magic, that control the universe, and that, coupled with Brandon Graham, really excites me. The second book I'm really looking forward to is Warren Ellis's Nameless, which apparently it's you could put it under the horror genre, I guess, and but he's going to be looking at the horror genre in the 21st century. You know, we are flooded with the likes of zombies and vampires, and occasionally we get a Frankenstein here and there, but he's not going to make it so obvious. He wants to take away some of the layers of that and go a bit deeper than what you would normally, like The Walking Dead, I guess, and things of that stuff. He's going to go a bit deeper apparently, so I'm kind of interested in that. Finally, I really don't, it's just the title. Bitch Planet. It says it all. The cover looks fantastic. It's got that kind of retro sci-fi feel to it. This apparently again is another kind of... It's a sci-fi book with a kind of feminist twist apparently. So that sounds quite interesting. And it's all Image. it's the publishing house to be with at the moment. It has got so many great creators working on so many creative stories and titles, and coupled with some just huge artists, you can't pretty much go wrong with Image at the moment. So that is the 5 questions answered. I hope I answered them adequately enough. This tag has been going on for ages, and as soon as I thought of someone to tag, well, they'd already been tagged. So basically it's a free-for-all. If you've not been tagged yet, give it a go. It's really interesting to see what everybody's pickups are a month on their pull list. Just watching Mark's, who tagged me, it was amazing to see how many comics I'd never even heard of, let alone picked up myself. He is a big indie lover, and I'm not just talking Image, I'm talking the real indie comics that you don't necessarily see in your shop unless you already know about it and you've ordered them. So that's it. The pull list tag done.